Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do graphing a line that's written in standard form and then graphing it into slope-intercept form. So, if I have an example like this, 5x minus 3y equals 12. Well, we can't graph that just yet because I don't know my slope, I don't know my y-intercept, I don't know nothing. Because I got to figure out a way to go from standard form into slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And honestly, it's not that hard. You just got to manipulate the equation and move it around to get the mx on this side and then divide by -3. So just do those steps. Subtract by 5x on both sides. And because 12 and 5x are not like terms, it just stays, and this drops down. Be aware, this is a -3y. Be aware of the detail. This is -3y, not -3y anymore. It's the same thing. And this is just minus 5x plus 12 because you can't combine unlike terms. Last but not least, I need to get rid of this -3 that's attached to this y, so I'm going to divide it. Remember, inverse operations, this number, -3 is attached to that y by multiplication, so just do the inverse. So that's -3y. Divided both sides by -3. Now this is y equals negative over negative is now a positive 5/3 x, and 12 divided by -3 is -4. So if I'm going to graph this, I'm just going to do it like this, because I know it's mostly in the downward regions of my coordinate x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Alright, now if I'm going to graph this, I go to the y-intercept of -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want it this way. Rise 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Run to the right 3 because it's positive. 1, 2, 3. There's that guy. Go back to my starting point. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go left 1, 2, 3, right about there. And I got my line that I was able to graph that initially was in standard form, and then I manipulated it, moved it into slope-intercept form, and went like this. Let's do another example. Okay, I'm not going to graph this next one because I'm assuming you guys can graph them pretty well by now, but let's say I had something like this. Let's say I had, let's say it was -4x plus 4y equals 24. Okay? So, add 4x to both sides, add 4x to both sides. I'm now left with 4y equals 4x plus 24. And I just divide by 4 on both sides to get this into my y equals mx plus b. 4 divided by 4 is just 1, or just leave it as x plus, do not forget to divide this by 4. You will not be graded down if you put a 1 in front of the x for the coefficient, but we will never see that on a worksheet, a test or quiz, or nothing. So just get in the habit of leaving this as just an x, knowing that the slope is 1. Let's do one more, and let's make it a little tricky, because I like to be tricky. So if I had 2/3 x minus 1/2 y equals, let's say, 5. Ugh, that looks nasty because of those fractions. You gotta get better with fractions because I'm gonna be doing a lot of them this year. So first things first, follow the exact same process. Nothing changes here. Move this 2/3 x to this side by subtracting 2/3 x from both sides. This is a -1/2 y. Do not forget that. Equals -2/3 x plus 5. Now, how do I get rid of this -1/2? Well, this -1/2 is being multiplied by the y, so we could just divide both sides by -1/2, but I don't know how to divide using fractions, but I do know that I could just, instead of divide, I could, to get rid of, the whole point is to get rid of this negative 1/2. I'm gonna just multiply by the reciprocal. Remember? Reciprocal, because this will cancel off the negative 1/2, and that it does our whole goal. And I'm multiplying this entire side by -2. So this cancels, and I'm left with y, which is all that I care about, okay? Now, -2 times -2/3, remember distributive property. So -2 times -2 is 4, and then this 3 stays as the denominator. So this is now 4/3 x, okay? And I do the same thing here. I distribute this against the 5. 5 times -2 is -10. And there you have it. So, see you guys in class today.